You still have a lot of people up in the village. Call the meeting of the County Facilities Committee to order. As for further the minutes of the previous meeting. Supervisor Conover, second by Supervisor Diamond. Any discussion? If not, call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Privilege of the floor, any public comment otherwise? If not, we'll move on to the action agenda and new business items. First is a request for a new contract.
Yeah, I'll go through them. So that's for 1, 2, and 3. They're new contracts for the renovations to the court. The bids were supposed to be in today, but it got postponed based on some questions that came up till tomorrow. So we'll have these before the board meeting, but it's for the general contractor, electrical contractor, and for the plumbing contract.
These are small, fairly small.
Yeah, yep.
Phase four.
This is the last phase for the court addition and the court renovations.
Motion. Supervisor Conover, second. Supervisor Diamond. Any discussion, any questions? Supervisor Conover.
Yeah, just, this is a major undertaking, this project, it's taken a number of years, and I think it's been very successful with these projects that run into all kinds of issues and problems. This project had some of its issues and problems along the way, but we managed to get through it. So hopefully we'll have successful completion. This is the final phase.
This is the final phase.
And so hopefully we'll get through this and thank you.
Supervisor Thomas.
Yeah, how are we for money?
I'll know when the bids come in. Right now, we're okay. I think, based on the engineer's estimate, I think we'll still have a little bit of savings from the original 16 million that was bonded for the courts. Not sure exactly what it'll be, but engineer's estimate says we'll still have some savings on it. That'll allow us to get some of that work done for the county center in the front entrance area and such that we're working on Labella with right now. So.
Thanks.
So we're looking at items 1 through 3. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving on to discussion items, work order request.
Work order request program, we're currently at 3,855 successfully done and completed. Fleet car request program, 2,220 done and out. We're to a point now where we don't have any vehicles remaining every day. They're gone every day, so.
Countryside adult home update there.
So Countryside Adult Home, I think the last meeting we told you they were going to start the abatement work and start the roof work. And they're still at the point of gathering some costs and timeframes to install a couple add-ons, which was a generator pad and to relocate the propane tanks away from the facility. So all interior abatement work as of now is done and the roof work has started. And that's where we're at with them right now.
So what do we expect for completion?
We're looking probably towards sometime in October, the middle of October.
Thank you. Regional morgue.
No update on the morgue. We're still having the internal meeting with the design teams to review the results of the data collection and to confirm kind of the facility or needs and the vision of the morgue.
What's our anticipated schedule moving ahead on this?
The next step, I think, we'll have to get together and kind of set up some meetings once we have the data, is to reach out to a lot of the counties that have an interest. And even maybe reach out to some of the ones that are on the fence and see who would like to participate in this region more.
We've already kind of reached out to them, right? Query.
We've set that, well, that was a lot of the data collection that we just asked them for information of what they're doing. The next step would be, okay, this is what we may propose. Are you interested in coming on board with us?
Joseph Warren Music.
So the Warren Museum, the plans are probably at about a 90% at this point, 80 to 90%. We have some preliminary cost estimates for that 80 to 90%. And I believe, based on what we just talked about this morning, probably the first week of September, first and the second week of September, we'll have the next meeting with the design team and the committee to discuss any other changes that may need to be made. And at that point, we may have something ready to go out to bid. I know that the other committee, which I guess is I know Frank, you could probably help me out here. The interior for furnishings and things like that, that's with another committee, and they're still working through things with that committee as well.
I think they're pretty close to
They're close to
finalizing things.
Just to tap on that again a little, the schedule on that would be 2025. We'd like to have the project completed. I believe that's the centennial is 2025. So we hope, based on where we are now, to have this out to bid this winter and start construction, providing funding is there during next year. So it'll definitely be ready for 2025.
We kind of revamp the funding, the requested stuff at our last meeting, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be successful obtaining the necessary funds. Okay, anybody else on that? All right, we'll move on to,
I had one more thing for discussion items that John and I just talked about this recently. So behind us is Country Estates. They've had a lot of issues with the trees from our property falling into their roadway, and the town's been cleaning up a lot of that. We originally had a bunch of arborvitae's back there to kind of curb some of the sound that they heard, especially from the jail, because the generators or their HVAC system is constantly running. A lot of that has been choked out with the vines and such that are growing. Scott sent some of his crew out there to take care of some of that. There's a lot of trees in there that are not in the best of shape. Scott's going to mark them out with an X, and we're probably going to put a bid out to get those trees removed out of that area that continue to fall over there. A lot of it's that northern, that white pine. And every time we have a storm, there's another, we'll lose one or two trees in that area. So I just want to make everybody aware of that. I don't know whether or not I have the funding right now. We'll wait. We're getting towards the end of the year, so we'll watch the funding within Scott's budget. But if not, I may come back to the committee just for some funding to take care of the trees out there.
did soil and water get involved with?
Soil and Water did. Jim Lever from Soil and Water came out. We looked at he kind of confirmed what we had already seen, that the vines will have to probably do something more with because they'll continue to grow even if you just cut them off. With the trees, though, he said there's a lot of trees in there that they're either they have died or they're at the point of the disease or such in them that they will die. So he did help us out with those, and that's who Scott's going to kind of work with marking those trees out.
That noise coming from the HVAC system is coming from the outside unit.
Correct.
Yes.
This is one on the back of the building.
Might be able to do something positive with some noise attenuation panels.
Yeah.
They're easy fix, you know. You just need to get around it, some posts, some noise attenuation panels, and
A little enclosure around it.
it might help to knock that noise down substantially.
And none of the ideas.
Yeah, one of the kind of the niches that I have when I worked for the engineering companies, we did a lot of noise studies, and actually all the walls that you see along the throughway were part of a design that I had done, but it takes a significant amount of more than 100 foot of trees to knock down any type of noise more than a couple decibels. So having some type of wall or something that maybe the sheriff's office could put behind their facility that would definitely help, would make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I mentioned that you're absolutely right about the vegetative. I mean, the vegetative cover is good if you can have it, and it's a great thing, but, you know, you might find, I mean, the panels are pretty cheap.
Yes.
Get on three sides, and, go off whatever height you need to go up and, you know, be a few feet off of the unit. And so it gets plenty of air and exhaust. Right. But I think you'll knock it down quite a bit.
Okay. That it?
Discussion, yeah.
Earl?
We had the design updates. I want to thank everybody for providing me their comments to the plans. The Labella is working on the plans right now to update them, and then we will bring them back to committee with cost for kind of each section around the campus. And what we proposed. So, thank you all for that. The last thing we have on there is a referral from Criminal Justice and Public Safety regarding the magnetometers, and we're in a waiting period. And I think we are going to be in that period for a little while, right? Maybe till after the first of the year. So.
Thank you. We don't have an airport agenda per se, but there's some Superintendent Cahill wants to discuss.
So we have to kind of do, and then I'll let Robert maybe jump in on this too. We have to do an amendment with the next AMP lease. And I think is it just an amendment to their contract?
At this, really, we're just looking to assign it to the two LLCs.
Right.
The Nexamp created two LLCs wholly owned by them. The managing member is Chris Clark, who's also the CEO of Nexamp. And the purpose of that is because they're gonna finance the construction, and that it's gonna be two different finance companies for each parcel. So the northern parcel is gonna be one, the southern parcel is gonna be another. For financing reasons, they want to have the lease assigned to these LLCs. The same company that's going to be doing the work. It's the same business address and same people. They've also filed to be as a foreign company because they're not a New York-based company with the state for these LLCs, so that's legit. And they want to assign our lease that we signed in August of 2021 to these two LLCs. It'd be Northern Gateway Renewables for the northern parcel at the airport, and Southern Gateway Renewables for the southern parcel at the airport. And the lease allows that. In our lease, they can assign it as long as it's with permission from the county. Right. And so that's what they want the county to see. Would you permit us to assign this lease to these companies? Having looked at it and researched out what I can find on it, I don't see any problem with it legally. I mean, we do assign contracts to other companies when one company gets bought out by another. In this case, it's going to be Nexamp doing the work, or their contractors that they hire to do the actual building of it. And then these two LLCs, the purpose of that is more for the financing end of it on their end than anything else. They're not trying to get out of the contract, right? Because it's going to be the same people sign it, same business contacts. And so, okay, we'll bring it up and see.
So we needed basically, and I didn't do a kind of a miscellaneous resolution to allow the assignment, but since it needed the permission through the lease with them now, I wanted to bring it through committee and get it, and then I'll give Sarah a resolution this afternoon, but I needed to get approval from committee so we can assign it to them, so we can allow that assignment.
And they did give us good descriptions of the easement areas they're using.
Yes.
You have those too. I have those too.
Yeah, the meets and bounds.
That-
Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
So we're not looking for the resolution.
We are. Yep, we are. And then I'll square up with Sarah this afternoon as far as getting her that.
That resolution would be to allow.
I'll let Robert use the right language.
Resolution would be granting permission from Warren County to assign the lease dated August 25th, 2021 between Warren County and Nexamp to these two LLC subsidiaries, wholly owned subsidiaries of Nexamp, Northern Gateway Renewables LLC and Southern Gateway Renewables LLC.
And nothing else changes in the list.
That's it.
Just so everybody knows.
That's it.
Yep.
Motion.
And then discussion. Yes, I'll bring it forward.
Mr. Supervisor Drossy on the second discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It doesn't change the worthiness of the guarantors relative to the project. In other words, we you do a project, you look to the financial stability and health that. Sometimes there are personal guarantees, there are all different types of guarantees that the credit worthiness of the company, et cetera, et cetera.
Right,
It doesn't change any of that. Whatever guarantees we have would remain in place.
it wouldn't change that. At least actually, we don't have personal guarantees from the executives or management of Nexamp and that. So that wouldn't change that way. Nexamp would still be liable. Well, the LLCs would still be liable, but Nexamp is actually the one doing it. These LLCs are almost more like shell companies in a way, so they can apply for financing on it. But it could still be there to do the work, and ultimately it's Nexamp that's on the hook for it because it's their people, it's them, it's that company doing the business.
So they would stay as the principal backer.
It is the principal backer, it's the owner of these LLCs.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is that, you know, we wouldn't want to move from a company that has certain financial
Assets.
capacities and assets
To someone that doesn't.
to a company that has nothing.
Nothing.
So we'll be protected in that.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
Are we clear on the resolution?
Yes, yes.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very good. Any other discussion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Anything? That's it. Motion to adjourn. Hanover, second by Favor?
Aye.